Now, we spoke about this idea that the zodiac sign of the month is the Scorpio. Now, Scorpio in Hebrew is the akrav, is an akrav, it's a scorpion. And very interesting, we said that Rachel, she was called Akeret Habayit, the mainstay of the home. And Akeret is the same word in Hebrew, it has the same letters as akrav in it, the same actual letters. Now, what is the idea of a Scorpio and how is that connected to this energy of the month? Okay, now a Scorpio has that bitter element to it because it stings, right? A scorpion is actually, we actually have scorpions in Israel. So I guess I've seen a few of them around recently, actually. A scorpion is an insect, it stings. Now, but how does it sting? The stinger is actually in the back. And when it stings, the stinger actually goes forward. That's the way a scorpion actually just works. That's how it functions. So what does that represent for us in our lives? Now, the back always represents the subconscious aspects of ourselves. And the front represents our consciousness. So what is the idea of this Scorpio stinging from the back? It's bringing our subconscious into our consciousness. Okay? So, and that's really what we're talking about in this transition of the month. Again, the month of Tishrei is when we have this spiritual download and we tap into much more of the subconscious realms within ourselves. And there's a lot of seeds that are planted, but we don't see the fruition yet. It's not something that we're conscious of. And what happens during this time, it says Jacob goes on his way. You start unpacking all the subconscious and all the downloads that we got during the high holiday season. And we unpack and we take things from our subconscious more into our conscious awareness. But what happens when we make that transition? That very often, as subconscious patterns, subconscious beliefs, subconscious thoughts come more into our consciousness, it could sting a lot, right? A lot of things that we hold in our subconscious, there's beautiful things that we hold in our subconscious, but a lot of what we hold in our subconscious is a lot of the traumas, a lot of the past stuff. And when they can come into our consciousness, and they could come into our consciousness with a sting. And that's why it could come into this Mar Cheshvan, could feel very bitter, because when you're starting to tune into some of that subconscious stuff and bring it more into your consciousness, it could sting, it could hurt, right? But how do we actually switch it from bitter to Ram, to exaltedness? Okay, and this is something very important to know that whenever we start witnessing patterns, witnessing beliefs, witnessing our thought processes, right? What happens once we witness them and we stop resisting them and we stop trying to control, or we stop trying to run away, the actual act of witnessing them, yes, it may be painful to witness them, and it may be painful to start bringing them into our consciousness, but ultimately, it does sting. But ultimately, when we actually face it and we actually sit with the pain and sit with that sting, the sting starts to subside. And it doesn't have to be suffering. It may feel painful, right? When you start noticing the subconscious beliefs and maybe the traumas that have been suppressed and we haven't faced, we can feel the sting. But the more we actually face them and we don't run away from them and we don't resist them, and we actually, what Miriam was saying, like we notice them and we're present to them, it could be painful, but it doesn't have to be suffering. And that's really the work, I feel like, of this month, of bringing things from our subconscious into our consciousness and facing that like sting, that jolt. And the more we face it, it stings, it hurts, but it subsides eventually. It releases because we actually faced it. We didn't just keep it in the back of our mind. We didn't keep it in the subconscious. We didn't actually just repress it or push it away or pretend it didn't exist. Okay, so now I want to go into the letter of the month. So every month again has a different letter, and the letter of this month is the letter Nun. And very interesting, again, the letter Nun has two different elements to it. It has the element of Mar, of bitter, and it also has the element of Ram, of exaltedness. So first of all, the gematria, the numerology of the letter Nun is 50. And 50 represents the idea of the abyss, of darkness. It says that in the time of Egypt, what happened? We were on the 49th level of impurity. And it says if we would have entered into the 50th gate, we would not have been able to come out of Egypt. We would have entered into the 50th, is considered the abyss, right? And even in the prayer, there's a prayer that we say every morning called the Ashrei prayer, where it has a prayer that's based on the different levels of the alphabet. It says King David, he wanted actually specific to leave out the letter Nun, because it would connote, Nun connotes like the idea of the Jewish people falling into the 50th level, into the abyss, into the darkness. Okay, so we have, that's the level of it being the dark side, the bitter side. But at the same time, 50 also represents the 50 gates of Bina, of understanding. So it says that, and it says, what does it say? When the Jewish people actually came out of Egypt, right? They came out, they counted 49 days, and on the 50th day, what did they receive? They received the Torah, which is the spiritual abyss, which is God's infinite gift to the world of wisdom and life. And so we see, again, 50 is the spiritual abyss of receiving the Torah, or it's the abyss of the darkness. So again, it's like holding on to these different opposite energies, which is really the energy of the month of Cheshvan. It's like opposites and holding opposites. And again, I think this is like really what we're saying, that there's so many different parts to ourselves. We have our mind and our beliefs and our thoughts that are telling us could tell us one thing and could be in control. And then we have the parts of ourselves that believe and that trust and that allow. And then we have the voice within ourselves that loves and compassion. And then we have the parts of ourselves that have self-judgment and have the inner critic. And then we have the parts of ourselves. We're so many multi-layers, multi-parts as a soul in a body. And what does it say? We have to remember, and it could feel so daunting to be a soul in a body and to have so many opposite polar energies going on in one day, right? It's like, I mean, all of us experience that. It's like there's so many different parts that we have to ourselves, but we have to remember, and I think this is a big thing, that it says, Oseh Shalom B'Ramah, that God unites opposites. God is what brings peace, and he brings harmony to all the opposite parts of ourselves. So again, I think that it's like such an opportunity this month, how I really feel, again, is to like really ask God for help. It's like to really remember we can't do this without Hashem. We can't do this without Hashem. And again, we do have so many conflicting parts to ourselves, and it could feel like, whoa, like so much, holding on to so much. But to really hold on to all those parts with love is to really, and to bring harmony to all those different parts, and to bring connection and communication and get to know ourselves really more, is the energy of this month of Cheshvan. Now, also, it's considered every month is connected to a different one of the elements. So the month of Cheshvan is actually a water sign. It's connected to water. Now, water is very emotional. It says water is just like water makes things grow, just like our emotions are like grow. If they expand, there's a lot of it. And there's different, like this month, this energy of this month. By the way, does anyone have a birthday this month here? Anyone on here have a birthday this month? No? You have no Cheshvan birthdays? Okay. I have two kids that are Cheshvan birthdays, so I see this a lot. They're very, very, very emotional birth kids. Like very, very emotional. And we can separate ourselves, because we could feel like we have different extremes and different parts of ourselves, and positive and negative, and things that we like and things that we don't like about ourselves. But we have to remember that this whole month is about holding all of that together, holding the gray areas, and to befriend our whole self, to have compassion on ourselves, and to recognize that to hold it all, just like God holds us with love and holds all of our parts with compassion. That's really the energy of this month, is to hold on to all of ourselves with compassion. Now, very interesting. I always find this so fascinating. We're speaking about bringing together opposites. The body part of this month is actually the veins. Now, what is the idea of the veins? The vein is the body part that, bye, Jane. Good to see you. Enjoy. Have a good day. Enjoy your baby. Jane, I was thinking about you. I was thinking about babies and smells. Oh my gosh, I love the smell of a new baby. It's so special, so pure, so beautiful. Also, Miriam just had a new baby.
He finally started smiling. So
Oh,
today he came here and he smiled at me. So that was cute.
so sweet. Wow, enjoy.
Bye.
Have a great day. Goodbye. So what's the idea of the veins? The veins are the part of our body that connects, right? And we have Rifka here, doctor, that brings the oxygen, right, to all the different parts of our body. And it's the idea again of unifying opposites. We have our heart, our legs, our arms, all our body comes together through the system of our veins. It unifies all the different systems and organs within our bodies. And that's really what, again, we said, what's going to happen this month? It's when the third temple is going to be built during this month. The third temple, what is the temple? It's the unifying home of God, where all the world, Jews, non-Jews alike, are going to come together and unite with one goal of revealing godliness into the world. So it's a month really of unity, of unifying, of again being with all our different parts, holding space for our full experience, and being present to that, and connecting to all of that. And it actually, again, we see this also in the tribe of the month. The tribe of the month is Menashe, okay? And the Menashe actually united Israel. It says that half of the tribe of Menashe lived in the land of the seven nations within Israel proper, and half of the tribe of Menashe actually lived in the Transjordan, which is out of Israel proper, with Reuben and Gad. So, and what happened? Moses placed them specifically in the land of Israel and outside of the land of Israel to unite the Jewish people from both sides through the tribe of Manasseh. Was the tribe that brought unity and connection to the Jewish people, to the land of Israel, and outside the land of Israel, even physically. And Menashe, right, is the same word as neshama, which is our soul, again, which is the sense of smell. And what again is the third temple? It's the place where our soul is going to be expressed in the world, the place where the unification of all the entire world, Jews, non-Jews together. So again, this month it's almost like a choice that we can make. I think that it's very powerful. We can make a choice where we could be and really start the year and with a sense of empowerment that yes, it's a month where there could be bitter energy, and there's a lot of subconscious stuff brought into our conscious awareness, but remember that we're building vessels. And building vessels could feel like, oh, I'm in control. I'm building vessels. I'm having my schedule, like Shlomi's saying, and I have a lot of work to do and getting back into the grind. It was just a month of holidays where I wasn't working so much and I was traveling. And now it's like intensity of like, I'm doing, I'm accomplishing, and I'm doing. And it's again leaning into it from an energy of like exaltedness. And the ark, remembering the ark was a vessel, but it was tranquility, it was peace. To start off the year with that energy of not just do, go, but to come to it from an energy of like harmony and unification of all our parts and being present for ourselves, and not just getting into our head and controlling and schedules and doing and doing and doing, but listening more in with our sixth sense, with an intuition a little bit deeper. And we have that choice. It's like really a choice to like be in the bitterness or be in the exaltedness. It's a powerful choice that we all really get to make. And I think everyone who's here is definitely choosing the exalted route. That's for sure. That's for sure.